Hey, welcome to another episode of Art Source. Today I'm in the studio and I want to show you how to use the SilverBrush Silver Crystal Wide Wash brush. So it is great for acrylics and any high flows. I'm also going to be using golden high flow acrylics, and I'm going to be working on ampersand panels that are 24 by 36, and we're just going to put a toned wash on these. So let's get started. So I've got a dual commission here. They're 24 by 36 on Ampersand Gessobord panels. So we've actually got the images down, the base layers. And what I want to do is I want to neutralize this blue while still keeping the pattern. So I'm going to use the Silver Crystal 3-inch wide wash brush. And I'm going to be using some of the golden fluid acrylics. So first off, I want to make sure that I shake these. You can hear the BB inside that is helping to navigate, so make sure that you give all these guys a good shake. Okay, so now that we've got they're all shaken up, I've got white, I've got a neutral gray, I've got quinacridone magenta, and I've got an ultramarine blue. Now I picked ultramarine and quinacridone because they're both fairly transparent. You can see by the labeling on the front that both colors are fairly transparent. The majority I want to put down is blue because I want to keep the blue tones. That's what the guest asked for. I'm going to neutralize it by putting a small touch of quinacridone. It won't take much at all. And then I know that white is a little bit more opaque, but I need it to lighten it down. And then I'm going to put a touch of this gray just to dull the color. Okay? Then I'm going to wet my silver crystal brush. I'm just going to dip it in some water here and tap it out loosely. And then I'm going to fold my colors into one another until I get kind of the dull color that I'm looking for. And that looks pretty good, a nice dull gray. And I'm actually going to overblend my colors, which typically I would not. But in this case, I want to overblend because I want the color to be universal on the panel. So I am just going to wash over. It's got a little bit of a dull purple look to it. But I am going to take a little bit more of my water wash, pull through, because I really want it to be just a glaze. And you can see the more that these bristles glaze across, and you do it in both smooth patterns, then I'm lifting off more of the paint and just getting a thin translucent layer. It's just enough to glaze and neutralize the piece. So I'm just going to keep working this guy, and then we'll come back and see how that looks after I get the whole thing coated. Okay? So here is the finished product after I have applied the glaze. You can see everything's got a soft glow, kind of a soft grayish violet, just really more subdued so it doesn't speak out quite as much. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fine tune the boats, and then I'm going to put some texturized stenciling on top using some light molding paste just to finish the deal. So what I'm actually doing now is adding texture by using golden light molding paste. You can see it's white and opaque, and I've actually mixed it with some of the high flow acrylic to get the blue. And then what I do is I place my favorite TCW stencil down in a place where I might want it. And then I just take a little bit of this palette knife goodness and scoop it up to where it's all on one side of the palette knife, like so. And then I can just hold the stencil down and just scrub across. And so you can tape the stencil or hold it or whatever, but I'm just putting it through some random sections here just to showcase some of the pattern. And it can be, I like mine to be a little messy. I mean, if you want perfect, you can fill in every little nook and cranny, but I like some of them filled and some of them not filled. And then when I lift it up, there we go. We got texture on it. So there's visual texture, which is where I use the stencil with just paint here, and it's totally flat. And then there's physical texture, which you can see, and it's actually raised bumps that offset the visual texture. And of course I'll keep patterning it, and then because light molding paste is absorbent, it can actually soak in some of the high flow once I'm done. And of course all of this was done on the 24 by 36 braced Ampersand Gessobord panel, and all of them are marked so that you know what it is. You don't have to guess what your substrate was. Okay, so just tune in and we'll finish these bad boys up.